Hey, how are y'all doing today? This is SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Plump Queen, and we have
Peace.
Queen Misha. Come on now, y'all gotta introduce yourselves.
I'm Misha, Queen Misha. Nice to meet y'all. Nice to see y'all. Thanks for coming again and seeing us.
Hey y'all, I'm Taquita. What's up?
All right. This is going to be another touchy one. You know, we are talking about childhood traumas. So now we would like to talk about how our childhood traumas as translated into parenting. So I'm not a parent, so I'm going to let the parents of the show, kick this off. But we want to talk about exactly how you've been raised and the things that you went through and how that passes on, down the generations. So we miss Miss Misha. So we're gonna put you on the spot and let you go first, girl.
All right, peace. Okay. Well, for me specifically, I know that my mom experienced a lot of traumas herself growing up. And of some of these traumas I just learned of within the last few months. And so, she had her own abandonment issues and, rejection and not feeling loved and just this number of traumas that she went through. And because of that, it led to her being a young mom. I had 2 siblings right underneath me by the time I was 3. So I grew up really in mother mode, always by my mom's side, helping with whatever I could. I watched her traumas affect my life in a way of, her still being young and wanting to have her own personal life. And so me having to pick that slack up a lot of times and be the responsible and camera. And independent, young lady at a very young age, as well as, not feeling like I could speak up for myself because I didn't want to upset her or disappoint her or let her down, So I really early became a yes girl, a yes lady, for the sole purpose of, not being the stress of my mom. And so, that transitioned into my adult life where I had a hard time speaking up for myself and saying what I wanted, having a tendency of saying what other people wanted, as well as, putting other people before myself and my wants and needs and making sure that everybody else was happy before I was happy. And so these were some of the ways that her traumas was inflicted on me was the lack of that nurturing and hands-on mothering, just because she was in her masculine, from having to be a single mom and then work all the time herself. So I didn't really see her wearing a lot of makeup or, shopping and doing like she cooked. She made sure we ate, but it wasn't like, you know, full course meals every day or nothing. It was like, fast meals like spaghetti and stuff that you cook when you have a lot of children and no time. So that transition too, where I didn't really cook a lot, or I'm just now getting back into cooking. I've become a perfectionist at saute and kill, and so just picking up these things like cooking and stuff daily that I wasn't really raised with, and actually cooking healthy meals because we always ate the fast meals, and when I'm sure she ate fast meals. So, but really, like my mom has I've experienced she has like a detachment. I don't know if it's out of fear of losing us or, that not being close, or that feeling that no one loves her. And so she just, carried that feeling onto her children. But I know that myself, I made sure to be really open with my daughter really early. And just over the last like 2 years or something, she's really mature, really intelligent herself. And so, being open and honest with her, letting her know, hey, mommy loves you and mommy's trying her darnest. And at the same time, mommy is still really young and, I'm figuring it out. So know that nothing that I do is ever meant to hurt you. And if you do feel pain, if you do feel hurt from my actions, please, sorry, the wind is crazy, you guys. But please make sure, to be open with me and let me know sooner rather than later so that I can help you. I asked her often, okay. I asked her often, do you feel like you have any PTSD or any traumas? Is there anything that has happened so far in your life that you think about it on the often, or that you feel like it's affecting you because this single event happened? And actually she did. I had a marriage really young, so um, it was kind of a marriage based out of survival, from being kicked out at an early age rather than true love. And so my ex-husband was kind of an asshole, and my daughter had a dog, and he sold the dog, and she had got attached to it, and like she cried, and he had like no emotions, no sympathy at all towards her. And so that instantly instilled a little bit of a coldness when it comes, or emotional detachment from things in her because of the fear of losing it. And so, these are things that I try to talk to her about. Like, I'm sorry that I allowed the relationship I was in with somebody who wasn't actually like the most gentlest father or role model that he could be, to, cause something like that to happen and not explain it to you, not give you that closure. And so that's really what I think the biggest thing is that, we take the lessons from our parents with the understanding that they were still humans before us. And at the same time, we're hands-on and not afraid to have hard conversations with our children about our own mistakes, because we're human and no parent is perfect. I don't care how planned the child is. I don't care, what the race is. No parent is a perfect parent, especially their first child. And, my daughter is my only child. So I'm still like, it's not like I have a second child to be like, okay, now I know how to, get the diaper bag ready the fastest, and, how to prepare my daughter is my only child. So it's just a whole bunch of firsts in our relationship. And that's like, it's been beautiful and humbling. And it's been a, a blessing to have her being able to like be that accountability for me in the back of my head, because I know how I felt as a child, and I remember how I felt whenever I'm parenting, or whenever I feel like I've made the wrong choice. I go back to how I felt when my mom made her choices and how they affected me, and I adjust accordingly. And so, yeah, that's really my gist of it is, be understanding of your parents and who they were. Take the lessons for it. That's really the only reason I ever go back to the past, is to look for the lesson. And at the same time, don't be afraid to, don't have that stigmatism in your household where your children aren't comfortable talking to you and you aren't comfortable talking to them, because I feel like when you have a child, it's a constant student teacher, or student guide cycle, where there's times where they're learning from you, but then there's also times where you're learning from them, you know so yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. All right, Quita, you up next. I'm going to start.
So I took some notes, okay? No, but so I guess I kind of just want to start off from how I was raised and, the things that I've gone through and pretty much what I'm doing with my children to kind of offset that. I have three kids. I have two boys and one girl. Growing up, I was the oldest of three. Um, and then, of course, my mom got with my stepdad, and of course, it was like a blending of families. He had kids as well. So that's kind of another dynamic as well to how, you know, childhood traumas or things like that could can affect, kids and how you grow up and what you see. So what you see and the environment you're in are, and things like that. So, one of the things that I kind of want to touch on, like, everybody, if you watch the past episodes, my pretty much my story. So I don't want to get into it too deep, but I did go through a lot of different changes and a lot of things, not just me, but my sister and my brother as well. My stepdad was very abusive to my mother and to us. Drugs, just different types of things going on in the home, and all of that really kind of isolated. I feel like my mom was being very like controlled, so it kind of really. I feel like she was just so caught up in the connection in the relationship and wanting to have that there that I feel like she neglected us. Of course, at the time, being a child, you don't understand that. You just like, okay, you want your mom. You need that communication. You need that nurturing, right? And then, when you feel like you are put on the back burner for a relationship, it just makes you feel kind of, unwanted. It makes you feel left out in the cold, abandoned, rejected from the parent that is supposed to love you. And then constantly over and over again, she chose him over us. So it was a lot of abandonment, and not only from my mother's side, but from my father's side as well, because in the midst of me going through all of this, my father knew this, and he didn't step in to kind of relieve me from what I was going through. When I felt like he could, of course, I was like, I felt like I wanted my dad to be my superhero in this situation. So having that abandonment from both parents, kind of really made me a loner. And then again, like I said, I was the oldest of three. So a lot of responsibility was put on me at a very young age. I'm having to, look after my younger siblings and even younger cousins and things like that. Making sure they get to school and things like that. Just a lot of responsibility was put on me. So, I was like, I just consider myself an old soul. And then I was partially raised by my granny. And so just a lot of like things that I had to endure as a child, and it took away from me being a child. You see what I'm saying? Because I had to jump into this role of being, of course, big sister or just being an adult, and it took away from my childhood. And then, of course, just seeing and being in the environment that I was in, it just really took away from that. And the bad definitely outweighed the good. So, as an adult, when I became an adult and I had kids on my own, I knew that I did not want to repeat the cycle. I didn't want my kids to experience and have experiences that I had as a child growing up. I wanted them to feel loved. I wanted them to feel heard. I did not want my kids to feel rejected or abandoned or neglected like I did as a child. So, I implemented certain things to where, I communicate with my children. If they feel some type of way, I let them voice their opinion. I let them speak. I want them to feel heard. I don't want them to feel like nobody cares. And then a lot of us have to understand because, like, I understand because when I was, younger, not only was I dealing with stuff at home, I was getting bullied at school, getting talked about, didn't have friends. Again, I was a loner. I was to myself. Um, and so outside of what we go through at home, you don't understand. Like some people don't understand that. And then kids go to school, and a lot of kids act out because they want that attention. They crave that attention. So they act out at school. You always get phone calls that your child is fighting or this or that or this. And you're like, why? And sometimes you got to look in the mirror and you got to realize, you got to figure out, like, maybe, is it something that I'm not doing as a parent? Are they trying to get my attention? And a lot of parents don't understand that kids do act out in those ways because they feel neglected. And then a lot of other times kids can go to drugs or things like that and get influenced by the wrong crowd and get into certain things that are not good for them. Again, it's a cry for help. I'm glad, as a child, I never turned to any of those things. I kind of just internalized a lot of stuff and my spirituality and just, me going to church. And then thank God for my grandma. She was a savior. She really, helped me through a lot of that. And then just other family that understood the situation really kind of put a little ray of sunshine in like something that was just so like messed up for me as a child. So it's good to have people that you love around you as well. But another thing that I wanted to talk about with the behavior and stuff and the cry for help is mental health as well. Like the other day, my son came, he texted me, he said, Mom, I just don't feel like going to school today. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, he getting up out this house, you about to go to school, you know what I'm saying? But then I had to kind of like step back and because, he explained like it was just too much and he just wasn't feeling it. And he never has ever asked me for this. So I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, how I was. I put myself in his position and how I felt when I constantly had to just go to school all the time. Experiencing going through the stuff that I was going through in my household and still have to get up every day and go to school and just make it work. Even though I might have just witnessed the night before my stepdad knocking my mama in the corner somewhere or whatever the case may be, I still got to get up and go to school the next day. And you mentally have to kind of like process all of that and you in school, how can you focus? How can you know what I'm saying?
You can.
So
It
even
leaves you in survival mode.
it does. And it's like you're breaking down internally. Like I said, I didn't talk to people. I didn't have friends like that. Like it was just all internalized.
Hmm.
So, like, even though my son, of course, he's not experiencing anything crazy at home, but still, you still have to, you don't know what the kids are going through and what they're feeling. It's other things outside that, sometimes your kids don't want to talk to you about or have troubles coming to you about. So let him stay home because I feel like mental health is important. I mean, it even goes to like as adults, we go to work every day. I have to sit here, I deal with my kids and other stuff as an adult, as a single mother on top of that, doing everything on my own raising my kids, financially, everything, and then I still have to show up for work. Sometimes I want to stay home and have a mental, health day. So it's just a
Hmm.
lot. So it's like I have to put myself in their shoes and be like, yeah, I get it. It's a lot. And then with him being the oldest as well, you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of responsibility. He's 16. He'll be a grown man in 2 years. So just having all of that kind of like, having to show up and having this huge responsibility of getting the good grades, making sure you graduate. It's just a lot. So I get it and I understand. So of course I'm like, yes, you can stay home. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like just us parents kind of just not being so hard on our kids, being very understanding and kind of looking at things from their perspective and don't jump to conclusions being very communicative with your kids,
Hmm.
keeping that line of communication open, being very transparent with them. Like I keep it real with my kids. I don't sugarcoat
Hmm.
nothing because I mean I rather them know what it is than go out here in the world and find out the hard way. So I'm very transparent with them. I hold my tongue. I don't hold my tongue at all. So I definitely keep the lines of communication open. And then another thing, is, like I said, as far as the childhood stuff is just like when parents we still got a lot to live too. So like when you're dating, a lot of women they run through men. They have all different types of men around their children, and then especially like if you have girls or even boys, they see that, and then they can emulate that as they get older. And so you don't want to just bring anybody around your kids. You definitely want to make sure your home and your bubble with your family or your kids
Hmm.
is a safe space. And then it's too much like craziness. You don't, some people will bring people around their kids, they don't even really know them. And it's
Be
like, you
dropping
don't
their
know.
kids off. Hmm.
you don't know like what this person's capable of. They could be a pedophile. You don't know, so you have to be very cautious because you never know what can happen. They can be looking at your daughter some type of way, or looking at whatever your son, whatever the case may be. So you can't just bring everybody around your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to kind of. It's kind of tricky. You got to really kind of pinpoint when it's the best time, but you will know. But I just don't feel like it's smart to bring everybody around your kids, and with the dating and jumping in and out of relationships because that affects them as well. Having to see all these different men, or if it's a man, different women and things like that. Sometimes you got to just keep some stuff out in the streets and let it be there and let it stay there. I pretty much have been single since I stopped dealing with their dad, and it's probably like one person that I've brung around my kids since that, and that's been like over 10 years. So it's like I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do, it'll be there, and that's that. Even though I didn't really see that in my mom because of course as she got married to my stepdad, it's still I understand the dynamic and the uncomfortability and just it's just too I'll put my kids first. And that's what I'm really big on because like I said, when I was younger, I didn't feel heard. I was not put first. I felt abandoned. I felt rejected by both parents. I felt very isolated. I felt on my own, and I never want my kids to feel that way. So if my kids feel some type of way and they tell me, I'm listening with both ears. It's not going in one ear, not the other. So it's just a lot of different dynamics and different things us as parents. And I'm glad that I'm not repeating cycles. And I'm glad that it's ended with me and I'm not allowing the things that I endured as a child to continue as an adult and my kids go through it too. So I'm glad of that. And so, yeah, like it's just so much. It's just different dynamics. Mental health is definitely important. Definitely pay attention to your kids, the friendships that they're forming. If they're acting out, make sure, take a look. Hey, are they acting out because you're not giving them the attention? Are they connecting to these, negative attachments with these people and trauma bonding with them because you're not giving them what they need? Like you definitely got to be aware. And it's like it's really hard on parents because like we have to be so much to our children, but we also have to make sure that we are being what we need to be to ourselves because we can't pour from an empty cup. We have to continuously be self sufficient and you know what I'm saying? We have times where we break down, we cry and we feel abandoned or rejected or alone. But we can't like really let them see that because we have to be strong and especially for single parents, we can't skip a beat. Like we gotta make it work, and sometimes it does get tough. Um, but I'm just grateful that I'm blessed and God has provided me with the things and the people necessary to just make what I need, do what I need to do and take care of my kids and give them a life that I never, had as a child. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I want to start off by saying kudos to y'all for breaking those generational curses. Appreciate you. I'm going to say thank you for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to talk about because I'm not a mother, but I think because I don't have children yet, I still have that child's perspective. So, what I've learned because I am an adult, I see that it is a perspective. So, I'm gonna give you a couple of stories, you know what I'm saying, a couple of examples of why those things, you know what I'm saying, tend to happen. It's all about mindset. Most of our parents see us as slaves. When we have most, especially in our community, most of us don't have children because we want to have children. We have children because we done had sex and the babies done came. Or we got married, so we have to have sex, so the babies came. So when you don't have it in your mind, I always say this: when it comes down to children, and there's always exceptions to the rules, but if you don't have a child based off wanting to have a child and wanting to do that, there's always going to be something where you feel like you're lacking because you now have to give up your whole life to take care of that child. You have to give up your dreams, your aspirations, whatever it is that you thought you was going to do. You have to now worry about this human being. and they are solely and sometimes solely your responsibility. So in that, it gives you a level of resentment. They don't mean it, but we're human. So it's like, all right, well, I got to take care of you. I got to feed you. I got to do this and that. So, now I need you to do this and that. So you got to go to school. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about their needs. You're not looking at them as people. We're looking at them as things that we have to take care of and an obligation for us. And it's not to say that, y'all don't love y'all kids. But, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how your parents taught you. My grandmother had 7 children. And I know she loved every one of her kids. But after 3, mentally and emotionally, she was done. Because she was in an abusive marriage that she didn't want to be in, but her religion and the community that she was in made her feel like she had to do that. My grandpa was up in the woods doing a thing, had my Aunt Tracy, you know what I'm saying? They kind of got away with her, but then they kept out being in them woods. That's another thing, education. A lot of people 2 generations up, there was no contraceptives, there wasn't condoms, you know what I'm saying? And if you were religious and you're married, you are not supposed to deny your husband. So whenever he wants some of that thing, you have to give it to him, whether you're in the mood or not. That's how my grandmother moved. And that's how a lot of people, especially down here in the South, think. So this is why you have these women that had 7 and 15 children. They love them, but they didn't understand that if you have sex after the 9 months, your body is still in baby mode. So now you can have children again. So this is why children are 9 months apart and things of that nature. That has to be stressful to have to raise 7 children, 15 children with the bare minimum. That's 7 to 15 different personalities that you have to deal with. And all of them got their own wants, dreams, needs, aspirations in life. That's a hard thing with lack of education, lack of resources. So we didn't have the luxury of, tending to each one, individually. It's not their fault. That's just the way it was. So this is why that was been passed on. Now, me personally, my mom was pretty good. I'm not going to lie, even with my abandonment issues, because I was the only child in the first 9 years of my life. She gave me all of that attention. All the stuff that she was looking for, Quita and Misha, my mom gave me that the first 9 years of my life, because in her mind, I was her savior. I was the love that she wasn't getting from her parents. But then once she got with a man and she realized that's a different type of love, that she was lacking. And that's when the abandonment came in. Again, she didn't mean to do that. In her mind, she felt like she was doing everything possible for me. Roof over my head, clean food, best things in life, anything I wanted, I got. Now that started to split up with the other children. Now you're saying adding other people into the situation. She had her husband had two other women that he was dealing with in some form of fashion, and they had children. So in my mom's mind, you're good, Tamara. I done gave you all attention. You good. They're the ones who need it. So now she brought in 4 other children, issues, aspirations, thought process, personalities, and mixed that all in with me. And she's thinking I'm good, and they need, her attention when I needed her attention. And then even though she broke some of those generational curses, she didn't realize just how much like her father she was. My grandfather was, you do as I say and not as I do. Because after my grandmother left, he had these children. After he done made her leave, he still had these 7 kids that he had to take care of. So when you was in his house, you had to do what he said, period. See what I'm saying? So when that's drilled in your mind, I don't care how good of a person you are, what you got going on, that trains you. So a lot of her and our disputes was me telling her how wrong that was. How you can't do something that is clearly wrong, and I'm telling you is wrong, but it has to be right because you're my mother.
Right.
Simply because you gave birth to me, that makes you right. That's that slave mentality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Touching on as far as children wanted that attention. I'm going to tell this story in hopes that this individual listens to it and hears me. I have a cousin. When I first lost my arm, his mother and his siblings came to help out with me. He felt very abandoned because our family feels like either the baby of the family is the most important because you're the baby, and that's what he was taught. So his baby brother got most of the attention, you know what I'm saying, but between the two, and that bothered him, and it bothers him to this day. So when I lost my arm, he was in the house one day messing around with something of mine, and I scolded him about it. And when I told his mom immediately went to his defense. And her thing was, I'm tired of people talking about how bad my kids are. I'm tired of people saying things about my children. Not let me do something about their behavior because it's my fault and I'm the one who taught them that. I'm just tired of y'all telling me, you know what I'm saying, that I'm a bad parent. That's what she was saying. She didn't know that's what she was saying, but that's what she was saying. So my cousin latched on to that. And his mind is, oh, this is how I'm going to get the attention from my mother. So you know what he started doing? Fucking with all my shit. All in my stuff, losing it, breaking it, doing whatever he could because he knew that was going to piss me off, but that was going to get his mom to give him some attention. And to this day, that situation has molded our relationship. To this day, he doesn't think that I truly love him inside, because he's basing that off of him acting out, trying to get love, you know what I'm saying, from his mother. So yes, when your children act out, it is absolutely for something. Please don't let people tell you that you just got bad kids. That whole mindset of having bad kids, that's what's messing it up. Kids aren't bad at all. You know what I'm saying? They're sponges. They absorb everything that's around them. And more than likely, you're the only thing that's around them. So if your kids are bad, that technically makes you bad. You see what I'm saying? So we have to do better. You have to, like you said, if your son came to you and said that he didn't want to go to school, that was dope of you, you know what I'm saying, to think, you know what I'm saying, maybe I need to check his mental health. Maybe he, was too much. Because that wasn't accepted when I was growing up. It didn't matter what I had going on. My ass had to go to school.
Exactly.
Okay?
Bye, and I see you.
Bye. There was no none of that. And I even had a time when I was in the 6th grade where I tried to do the same thing because I was a goody two shoes growing up. I did everything right. You know what I'm saying? I got good grades. You know what I'm saying? I was bubbly. And it seemed like I wouldn't get any attention. It was the kids that were acting up and doing all the wrong things. They knew all the teachers. They knew them name by heart. They were smiling and giggling with them in the hallways and stuff. So I'm like, so what am I being good for? So one day I decided to act out in school. I got in a chair, got into a fight with some girls, and just wilding out, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get attention because my mom now was focused on a man, 4 children, and the 2 women that surrounded that situation, on top of maintaining herself so she ain't got to go back home because that wasn't an option. Going back to her father's house was not an option. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't realize that was going on. I had to do a little therapy session in there. I tried to move in with my grandma. So I was definitely crying out for that attention. And at the time, she didn't realize that. And that was based on because she and herself, dealt with her childhood traumas. Her mother literally abandoning her, not just, giving other people attention. My grandmother dipped and left her kids with an abusive husband. He was sexually and emotionally and physically abusing her kids, and she left them there. See what I'm saying? So as parents, we have to truly understand and not forget, because we tend to forget or suppress what goes on with us, and that's how we start trickling it on to our children. And it starts to think, well, I survived this. It was worse. Something my mom say all the time, y'all kids got it made. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, we had to wash floors with toothbrushes, and you know what I'm saying. Our mother used to just launch stuff at us. You know what I'm saying. And I would try to let her know, I feel you, but mommy, that was bad. Grandma had no business doing that. Grandpa had no business doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to take nothing from you, but that doesn't justify you mildly traumatizing me because they extremely traumatized you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So from the kids' perspective, you know, your children want nothing more than to be you and to make you proud. I don't care what they say. Actually, I don't care what you do to them. I got cousins right now, you know what I'm saying? Their moms were not the best growing up, but that's their mama. It don't matter. They'll fight you to the T, cuss you out, because that's still their mother. That's still their earth. That is still the reason why they exist. So your children love you. You know what I mean? They just want to make you proud, but you got to help them do that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just got to go through that healing and back to the whole accountability. You know what I'm saying? Understanding like, yes, this happened to me. This is why I feel this way. This is why I think that way. I didn't like it. So let me do something different. My mom definitely did that in a lot of ways. There's definitely certain things that my mom did not do, which is why I kind of don't connect with my other family. Because my mom did not abuse me in a lot of ways. She did not verbally or really emotionally abuse me. She always lifted me up. That's where a lot of my confidence, even within my insecurities, came from. You know what I'm saying? I did know that I was loved. You know what I'm saying? I did know that I was, intelligent and I can do it. I can do anything that I want. So she did instill, those things in me. But for what she didn't do, I had to realize, my mom was a 19-year-old girl when she had me. She was still a child. She was still a teenager, you know what I'm saying, dealing with abuse. And then again, to be solely responsible for another human being, because my dad was not in the picture and she didn't pick the right person to have a baby by either, because he has mental issues. When you want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, mental health. My dad, my whole side of my dad's family got mental issues real bad. So we just gotta do better. We got to break these cycles. It's not about beating up on yourself. It's not about just, trying to blame you, how you destroyed my life. It's just truly seeing the root of the problem so you can fix it. We can't be patch jobbing this stuff no more, brushing it under the rug. We really just gotta address what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to, so your kids don't gotta deal with that.
Because it's detrimental. I'm watching it happen right now with every single one of my little brothers, as well in my personal life. The after effects of a parent not willing to admit to the trauma that they caused their children, and then their children trying to heal on that without the acknowledgement and feeling like their parents even care to acknowledge it. I got a little brother that y'all. I'm watching my baby brothers right now, and I'm thankful that I was able, I almost committed suicide off the bat of me and my mom's relationship, because, by the time I told her that I was sexually molested for 6 years, it was because I was freshly pregnant as a teenager and hormonal, and we were in an argument. And, a few years later, she threw that up in my face and was like, let me get in an argument. She pulled her husband now back and said, let me get him before you lie on him too. And so within me, that created a thing of to where I don't talk to my mom about nothing. I didn't even tell my mom when I got married right away. And it stems from over the last year, she's acknowledged that she didn't handle me the best way. She's apologized for all of the responsibility and the lack of love that she gave me. And I understand that she didn't have that love from her mother, because my grandmother was on drugs and stuff. So my mom was in a group home most of her teenage years. And so I see how, important it is that you be willing to take accountability, because you don't know what your children are going through. You do not know what they're going through because of their actions, especially if they don't feel comfortable telling you about it or talking to you about it. And like I said, I'm just watching my little brothers just move through this world so lost right now, because we were thrown out of the nest without the guidance and the information on how to fly in this world. And, thankfully nobody has just smacked dead yet. We all still fighting, but my babies are out there trying to fly with a broken wing, and all this
Mm.
stuff that I'm watching my mom, because that's my brothers are like my children to me, because like when we went through foster care, like I was mom at that point, like whenever they needed anything, shit, whenever my mom needed anything, like I'm the one that comes through and provides that, but God has put me at a place where my hands are tied with every single one of my siblings, as well as my mom's situation. Like I physically, financially, emotionally cannot do anything for them, but send them my love and light and prayers through their journey, and talk to them and guide them. But I know that all my mom would have to do is just acknowledge their pain and acknowledge,
Yep.
that some of her actions was the cause of that pain, and apologize for that, for their path to be completely, cleared out for them, or for that to be a major healing
I tell
in
people
them,
that all the time. Just apologize. Just
yeah,
yeah, just to
because
take it back, but you can acknowledge that you did that.
yeah,
And it,
but
it,
at
it,
the
it
same
makes all
time
the difference.
also, on the other aspect, you as the victim can't stay a victim forever,
That's a fact.
because I'm also preaching that to my brothers. That was the only way that I was able to get past it, to where I feel like it's a healthy detachment from my mother, but it's more so, it's not that I don't love her, because I do, like you said, she's my mother, but at the same time, I keep a distance well enough to where her actions and stuff now, as well as understanding that even though she's physically brought me into this world, on the spiritual realm, she may not be my mother most life, like,
No, no,
and
no,
I
absolutely,
might be her mom,
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
being able to like just look at it at all aspects when you have been the one traumatized by your parents, and making sure that you are setting yourself up in a position where you can heal with or without their apology and acknowledgement.
That part.
Because like I said, that's what I've been preaching to my brothers the last year, is don't wait for them to apologize. Like my little brother's dad that molested me for 6 years, like I found him on Facebook when I was starting through my spiritual journey. I found him on Facebook and just simply messaged him and told him I forgave him, and then I blocked it. But I
That's
know he knows who it was from, and I didn't need him to acknowledge it. I just need to let him know that I wasn't losing sleep over the actions anymore, and
that.
that if I remember being in church and the pastor saying you have to get to a point where if the person who hurt you was drowning, you would swim out and save them. And I now in real life, since then, I didn't experience somebody in a pool with me drowning, and I tried to save them. And let me tell you, it don't work out like you think it's going to. I almost died myself. But
Yeah,
if
that.
I if I didn't do it, it would be more because I knew I wasn't the one capable of doing it, over because I wanted to see him die. You know, and so you have to get to that point where you can visualize the person that's hurt you in your head. You can see them drowning, and in your soul feel like if it was within your power, you would go and save them. You know,
That
and
is truly
so
letting go. That is truly forgiving. That's true
yeah,
forgiveness, because people tend to think that, okay, just because you say I forgive you don't deal with the person. If you still got a negative thought process about them, you know what I'm saying? If you are around them, if the only reason why you don't think about them is because you're not around them, you haven't really gotten over that.
mhm,
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Not to say that you gotta rock with them, you know what I'm saying, on a certain level and y'all be friends or, rekindle and whatnot. But again, when you're over something, truly over something, and understanding
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
they were sick themselves, like if you're talking about in your situation with your molester, clearly that man was sick.
he
Clearly,
still is. My mom dropped him off. My mom dropped my little brother off. My little brother's like 22, 23. Because she dropped him off to his house once before a few years ago, he got himself in a situation because of the environment he was in. And so uh, he can't really leave the state now. And he's been wanting to stay at my mom's and them help him, get back into school and do things that like get a license and get a job and all this. And they won't do it. Instead, she takes him back to his house. So now my little brother's at a point where he won't sleep at night because his dad is on drugs and he's listening to his dad be his woman still, because he's beat every woman that he's been with. I'm pretty sure he's molested almost every child, if not my baby brother too, you know. And so like, as far as I've forgiven him, now it's like I feel like I be forgiving my mom, and then it's like you have to like, it's tough when you have siblings that you are the protector of, or you feel you're the protector of, and you feel like you're still just their sibling, so you can't be their savior and everything, you know. But then watching my mom supposed to be that savior for him and help him and guide him, and her neglecting and rejecting him, you know, putting him back in that environment.
Yeah,
It's just like, you know, for me, I'm like, whew, that's why I have to, you know, still
understand.
work on that. I have to stay meditated right now because I'm going in the spiritual realm and I'm fighting for my brothers. I'm fighting any family demons I feel we have. Literally, as an angel, like going in my energy, trying to slash all the negative energy within my family. But, you know, that's tiring. And I don't think my mom realizes how tired I am doing her job. You know, even today, you know, like I don't think she realized, she doesn't get an inkling of like how much energy I've poured into keeping my family afloat emotionally, financially, like spiritually. And so, you know, it's like even as a healer, like I be thinking like, oh, okay, I done it. I done got all the healing work out the way when it comes to my, you know, when it comes to my family and child traumas. And in reality, I'm just about to turn 29. You know, and I had a whole lot of years
That's
of
what you
traumas.
seem like, but
So
you still young, honey. You still young. Yeah.
exactly, and it's a mission for me to ascend this life. Light and love is all that I crave. That's all I am, all I know. Even in my childhood, like I would go to school and my parents would tell me, or the teachers would tell me. I remember a teacher stopping me in the hallway and saying, "You are the happiest child. You are the happiest child here. You are always smiling. You are always just so happy." I didn't have no friends. I was being bullied too, Quita, like every day, like little girls waiting outside the school for me till 6 o'clock, and me hanging out with the teachers because I don't want to fight, you know. But it's like that emotion, you know. This is what I knew today. This was, I was preparing y'all. I've been preparing because I knew at some point, like, because all this is, you know, fresh right now to me. And it's like I get to a hill point, and then, like I said, I care for my siblings like they're my children. So when I start seeing their paths, you know, shaky and wavering, that affects me. And so with this change that's been going on over the last few weeks, I don't know what change is in y'all, but it's like monumental, like energetically, spiritually, physically, like this is monumental change going on. And while I feel like I'm raising higher through this change, I'm seeing my little brothers and I'm like, oh crap, like no, like let me help you. How can I help you? And you know, spirit is not letting me be there as I usually am. So that built up frustration and that talk, I knew talking about our parents and how their actions affect us today would pull it out of me.
Mhm.
Those tears that I be, you know, not wanting to
Let it
let
go,
out.
baby. Let them flow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
say
yeah.
this. I'll say this to you. Every soul comes into this life as their own journey. As much as you
Mhm.
love your siblings, it is not your job to save them. It's not
Yeah.
your job to save your mother either. They all have their own path. They got to make their own decisions, and everything that happens to everybody is for a reason. So your
Mhm.
siblings are going through what they need to so they can build up whatever it is they need so they
Right.
can be who they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
You all you can do is send that Reiki. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
rhyming on you. Just keep sending them that Reiki and
Yeah.
yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Get yourself right.
Mhm.
I thought I lost my biological family. I thought that me and my cousins were never going to, you know, reconnect because the damage was too much done, you know what I'm saying, because of our parents' thought process and all that. And now I realize I got two of my cousins listening to Dr. Umar Johnson. I said something very personal to my cousin the other day in inbox, and I just knew he was gonna curse me out after I finished it. But instead, he told me, "You are 1,000% right, and I'm gonna do better." You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? My cousins, you know what I'm saying, are really looking to be something, and everything that I'm doing right now, I see that they're watching me. I see that they're hearing. So I couldn't force them to like me. I couldn't force them to support me. I couldn't force them to hear my side, to see where I was coming from. All I can do is just be. I got to show them that I mean
Mhm.
what I say and that I say what I mean. You know what I'm saying? That I'm about this life, that I'm really about change, that I really want to break these curses. And I'm not trying to just be, combative or evil to their mothers. It has nothing to do with that. It's just really changing the mindset of our family so we can be better. And they're starting to come along. You know what I'm saying? Every conversation I have with them makes me smile. I hope they're watching, because if you do, y'all don't know how much that makes me smile. That's about to make me cry right now, because I really thought that this was just going to be me and I was going to leave my legacy to my friends' kids and the people around me. But now I see that I can really build this business with my family, and we're going to use our hurt and our pain, and we're going to turn that shit into triumph and really do something. So all you got to do is keep doing what you're doing and be your best self, and you're showing them the light. Because you got to show them.
Yeah. You definitely gotta let that negativity go, because when you hold on to it, it's like drinking poison and expecting the person that hurts you to die. Like, it's not, you can't do that. You gotta let it go. And like you said, that's that peace that surpasses all understanding. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like going through some just fucked up stuff and then just getting on the other side and not holding that resentment or that hurt or that pain, not holding on to it, not letting it eat you up, and just being a better person and just glowing and growing. And that eats people up when you ain't even thinking about it. Like, when you're still holding on to that and you letting stuff trigger you, and somebody said or they did and it still gets to you, that's how you know you have not healed from that. But when you can just be at peace and you can just be like, it is what it is, and you just living your life and you not allowing that to hold you down or bog you down, it is nothing like that peace. It's just like ascension on a whole nother level. And so, and like Trevor said, you can't hold on to that. You know, we all, of course, we want our family and the people that we grew up with, our siblings, our friends. We want them to prosper. We want the best for them because we love them. And when you are a healer, when you are very spiritual, it's hard to kind of see people you love go through stuff. But like you said, we all have our own journeys. We all have our own paths, and that's all you can do. Love them from afar, and you just gotta put that love and that energy into yourself. And like you said, just keep doing what you need to be doing. Those who catch on, those who, are with it, they'll follow. Other ones, everybody is all about timing. It's probably just not their time. You know what I'm saying? And they just gotta go through their stuff. You
No,
just
you're
gotta let it.
absolutely right.
You can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be not even necessarily their karma. Not saying that they did anything wrong or anything like that, but it's just their life's journey. And who are
No,
we
you're
to step
absolutely right.
in and, take away or step in and try to be God and whatever? We're not. We can only do what we can do. And when you realize that and you understand that, you'll be more at peace with the situation, and just know
Well,
that God got his hand on it, and however it's supposed to go, it's going to go. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, most certainly. And that's really been the only way that I've been able to find peace, is because
Mhm.
I do understand that every soul has its own journey. And
Yeah.
so, because I spoke until I was blue. And so, there's really
Yeah.
nothing that I can do. But like I said, send them love and light. It's just, those emotions, you still feel them, and you
Mhm.
luckily, if
Absolutely.
you know how to transmute it, you transmute it, because like that's what I've been doing. All this emotion that I've been feeling, like I've been suppressing it, but then once I realized it, I've had a couple crying sessions over the last 2 weeks, just because spirit completely just moved me away from my family altogether, like to where like now I'm in a whole nother
Mhm.
state. And
She's
so
in Georgia.
and so we transitioned into a little Georgia peach. And I've been and that's what I've been having to do is, every day I wake up and, making decisions for myself. Like, I'm kind of just like at a point where I'm like, I don't really know what it's like just to go to the grocery store and get what I want to eat, like, or what I want to do. And like, what do I want to do today? I want to go hiking. So, being able to like make those decisions. And like, I was watching this video for light workers, and they was basically talking about how you have to be alone in your journey. So while I had this like grand idea of all of me and my family working together in business and stuff, I feel like I kind of stunted my growth, especially the last 2 years, because a lot of decisions I was making was being based on creating this
Mhm.
family oriented business, And so, like here in Georgia, Georgia is where I came when I first started my spiritual journey. This is where I like entered into like my dark night of the soul. And this is and it's a blessing to have cycled back here and be in this fresh energy because like my boyfriend, his family is a healed indigenous family. And so like his mom was like the mother, his mom is the mother's mother. Like I was able to cook dinner for her a few nights ago, and just get the bond with her because she just wanted to come and check on me and see how my moving was going and stuff. So I've definitely been trying to transmute all this energy that I've been feeling with this change on and recognizing that is not my duty. It's not my duty to carry the weight of my family. All I can do is me. That's all I can do, and and be my best. Because then, also through being my best, I'll obtain the resources and stuff to be able to help them when they need it, and I can do it. So I definitely agree that you can stunt people's growth, and maybe I have become a handicap for all of my family, like, and I didn't realize that, but
Yeah.
just
You know it now. You know it.
transmuting.
Now you can
Yeah.
change it. Once you know, you have the power to change it. So
Mhm.
you're doing
Yeah.
great. Like I said, y'all are my heroes. I will continue to say that because I done have my issues, but it seems like everywhere I go, I just see somebody, that's worse. I told y'all a story earlier. I'm going to interview this man. I found another amputee that just had this story that brought me to tears in 30 seconds. You'd have thought I had two arms. Like listening to the story. I'm going to save it, what I'm saying, for the
Mm,
interview. But you just don't understand how somebody got it out there worse than you. I
Mhm.
promise you that. I
yeah.
promise you that. I don't care what it is you got going on.
Yeah.
Somebody done felt that 10 times over. So you just got to be
Yeah.
grateful, you know what I'm saying, for you
Hmm.
surviving whatever it is that you went through and just don't repeat that cycle because everything
Hmm.
that
Mhm.
happens to you affects you, but you have the power to choose on how. It can
Mhm.
either motivate you and transmute
Mm,
you, you know what I'm saying, into greatness, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
or it can break you down, you know what I'm saying, and repeat that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, that nastiness. But that's your
Yeah.
choice. That is the one thing you have control over, and that's making the choice.
Mhm. And I want to end on this. I just really feel like there's just been like a huge spiritual shift, like just on a huge platform across the board for so many
Mm,
people. Like I have literally been feeling it. Like, I literally have been, like you said, crying uncontrollably for no reason. Like just getting these like downloads or these feelings or these emotions coming over me and just having to like cry all this stuff out and just feeling things that I've never felt. A lot of stuff has been kind of like bubbling back up to the surface, like things that, or feelings or emotions or thoughts or something is coming up. And I know it's all for a reason. I know I just
mm,
feel like a spiritual shift, like we're letting go of things. And it's just like we're in that gray area where we're transmuting and we're coming into a whole new realm, spiritual
we're
realm, and just of
ascending.
who
Yeah.
we are. And I
Yeah.
know, and that feeling all too well. And it's just like it's just been coming out of nowhere. And like you said, I've been feeling, like you said, Misha, I've been feeling that energy shift where things are like on the up now. Things were kind of
Hmm.
just like, like first it was like lowly, like what is this? What's going on? What is these emotions? What is these feelings? And just really kind of like crying it all out. And now I'm starting to feel that energy shift and that ascension. And, I'm feeling myself like vibrating higher and just in a better, energy altogether. And I literally have been praying like to just really just have this peace. Like I just need this peace to overcome me. So no matter what happens, no matter who stays, no matter who goes, no matter what comes, no matter what goes, like I'm just good. I'm okay. Like I just want to have that groundedness. So I really been feeling it. So,
Yeah. That's
I
what
feel it
Yeshua
from
said,
you as
though.
well.
Me
Yeah.
three, guys.
Yeah.
I did a
uh,
detox with my lungs and end up having a spiritual, what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, I've been
But
feeling
that's what Yeshua said. Yeshua said that we would be having you would have to be willing to leave your family, your material stuff. Like you got to be emotionally detached from all of that. And I think that's what it was, because like this move was
Yeah.
kind of like my big, okay, I'm letting all of this go, like this is all.
Mhm.
And you can't feel guilty for your time when it's your time, when it's your up time. Like,
Mhm.
you cannot feel
Right.
guilty for that, because
Right.
like I think that's where a lot of my pain has been coming from, is more of a guilt, that I do feel good and I am happy, and it's like you can't feel bad for that. You can't feel ashamed or have guilt, because God is blessing you in that time, because you don't know how those blessings can help you raise and help elevate
Mhm.
the people that you love that may need it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, y'all, this energy shift it's been one for the books. It's like
It,
definitely a whole new
oh,
chapter.
Yes.
definitely a dark night of the soul, Phoenix rising, all that good stuff. And y'all know I'm a
Yeah.
Scorpio, so I'm used to all of that craziness, that change,
And
So,
what it really
yeah.
is, I feel like we're doing the 5D. We're going into the 5D.
Mhm.
Like ascension for me is like the ultimate goal. Like I want to leave a
Mhm.
legacy and stuff, but at any time, whenever my soul's ready to be raptured, I'm like, I'm ready. Like,
Bye.
let's go. Like, I'm trying to be a part of this rapture, y'all. I'm not joking. Like, because everybody's gonna eventually end up on the 5D. Like, you're gonna have to ascend or dissipate. That's like that's the message that I came back with the first time I came to Atlanta and left. Like, for all of my family and friends, I went there. I came back there, y'all, on a mission to save them. So you right. Like, that's how I know this last 2 years I kind of made the wrong move, because my sole intentions was trying to save everybody in the immediate family. And so like I came back with this really stern message of elevate or dissipate, elevate or dissipate, elevate or dissipate. And like,
Someone
I
told
clearly
you
understood what it meant, but it was like nobody else is trying to hear me out. Like, why ain't y'all elevating? I'm saying you got to dissipate. Like, and so that's what it is. Like, all of this healing, all of this talking that we're doing right now is for the sole purpose of you being able to move higher in your ascension process. Like, if you're triggered, we apologize. But at the same time, you're gonna have to be
yes.
triggered. And if you can, you be in control of your triggers. Sometimes, like I said, I'll go back and think about my childhood stuff just to make sure, you know, how you feel about this situation now. Oh, okay. You're not as angry. Okay, cool. Like, how
Everybody
can,
needs to do that. That is dope.
yeah,
I will say that.
like,
The universe gonna
man.
test you anyway. So if you do that on your
Mhm.
own, yeah, that's how the universe works with me. It give you that test, that
Yeah.
very thing, and how the universe works with me. They deal with the people that I love. Because honestly,
Mm,
I love everybody. I'm
mhm,
great in moving, but the people who move me are the people that I care about, that I'm invested emotionally into. So I'll have a dream, a crazy dream about them, or they'll just do something, or I'll think they did something or something like
mm.
that, and it'll just turn my whole world into a spin. And I used to go all out, do all this extra stuff. But now during this detox, I didn't have that. This is what my test. I had a detox. I ain't been smoking my weed because I've been detoxing my lungs, so can't do that. That's that kind of defeats the purpose, and that's my go-to.
Right.
When I'm upset, that's my calmer downer. All right, let's think. Well, this past 9 or 10 days, today's day 10, I've had to think on my own. I have no crutches, just
You've
simply,
had to feel more.
I just had to feel more and just understand those feelings.
Mm,
TMI, guys, I was even on my cycle on top of that. So you're talking about hormonal changes, going along
yeah.
with emotional, going along with going through withdrawal, going along with, yeah, these 10 days has been crazy, but
Ooh,
I've elevated in so many ways. I have different perspectives on, I'm saying, those very things that were holding me back. And the more that I do that, the more abundance comes to me. More of the things that I need to push forward and what I got going on is coming to me because I'm breaking down those barriers, as though these are the things that have been holding me back, these feelings, these. So now that I'm getting rid of them, it's like I'm free. I'm free to download, all the good stuff. I
mm,
have to, I'm saying, I have brain space for that. So you gotta let life do what it do. Your ancestors, God, however you want to put it, got your back and is gonna give you the lessons that you need. So you
mm.
just gotta pay
Mhm.
attention and try to pass. You know what I'm saying? Try to get these A's out here.
Man, we ain't trying to fail the mission. We
No,
can't fail to mention y'all. True, we got because I know dang well I didn't come back to this ghetto planet to fail to mention. Like we got to be loving life for these people. Like and the
Saturn's
only way you can
falling. I
be
got to go.
right.
That's a fact.
For real,
Well,
like
this was
yeah,
great.
for real.
I really hope that you guys got some value, you know what I'm saying, out of this. Of course, remember, you've been with what you've been through. Let's not repeat these cycles. Understand,
Right.
understand, forgive, love up on your parents, respect, forgive, love up on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And transfer all that love, forgiveness to your children. This is how we save our families. All right. So all right, ladies, show them what you got, Taquita. Tell them where to find you now.
Hey y'all. So y'all can find me here, of course, every Saturday at noon. Also, you can find me over on YouTube. I have a channel called Scorpio Sun where I do tarot readings. And also I have a okay, I thought it was raining or something. I'm sorry, y'all. So
That heat,
also
that heat.
so also I have another channel that I just created not too long ago, a couple weeks ago called Quita B Tarot Talk. On that channel, I'll be talking about, of course, I'll still be doing my tarot readings, but I'm having conversations about relationships and just different aspects and things that goes on with relationships and dating, trauma bonding, healing after heartbreak, just different types of things like that. So if you're interested in that, follow me over there. Also, you can follow me over on Facebook. I have a group called Scorpio Sun. I pop in from time to time and do live readings. So if you're interested and you want some questions answered, you can follow me over there. And then also on Instagram at realty underscore tarot. So you can follow me over there as well. And also, if you are in the Lexington area, you can find me at the Clarion Hotel every first weekend of every month at the Mystical Market. I have a booth set up there. You can come in and get a free reading from me, a personal face to face reading. So, yep, you can find me.
All right, all right. Get all that tarot goodness from Quita. All right, Miss Misha. Now you done moved, but tell them how to find you.
Yo, you guys. So basically, yeah, I'm in the middle of redoing all of my websites because now I'm gonna be online doing a lot of my Reiki healing work and stuff. And so that's all in transitions, but I'm on Facebook at Misha's Love Tribe. So I'm gonna be sending some Reiki videos and stuff out there just while I'm on this pause. And then I'm on TikTok at Celestial Reiki 333. And I do Reiki videos, post them up there. So if you want just a little bit of 60-second, 3-minute Reiki healing, I got you. I got you. And yeah, really, you can find me here every Saturday with my sisters. And me and Queen Plump. Hopefully, we're gonna be getting some more interviews going and stuff. But yeah, I'm in the thick of this transition and stage. So give me a couple more episodes, and then we'll have a lot more ways for you to see my face.
All right, all right, all right. And of course, you guys, y'all know me, Plum Queen, on April 9th. Get excited on Roku. We are launching our streaming channel, Ampspire Media Network. All right.
Yay.
Yeah, I only got 5 fingers, overlaid, and all this good stuff. So now that's what you're gonna see in the middle of your screen. Just look for this logo on April 9th. You know what I'm saying? For the first 6 months, you know what I'm saying, is going to be free to the public so you can get a taste of all of this inspiration. All right. We are definitely looking for content creators, podcasters, anybody that has some great content that's inspiring, fun, and anything that helps people, you know what I'm saying, live a fulfilling life after adversity. We're looking for you. So definitely hit us up. And if you're a business that needs advertising on television, we're stepping up our game now. I know, social media is popping, but we about to get on TV. So definitely link up with me and we can definitely work that out. Of course, you have to always find us on Saturdays at noon, SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast. You're definitely going to be able to catch us on our streaming channel as well. So you're gonna get this work, you're gonna get this healing, you know what I'm saying, in more places than one. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for Sundays with Spirit. Me and my sister, our 33 Master Teacher, we have our little tarot situation as well. She's the intuitive reader, and I am the conduit. You know, I'm the comedy as well as the education, because I definitely use tarot to help me with my spiritual growth and to get me where I am today. So, spirituality to TV. You know, we have a lot of religious stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to bring spirituality to television. If you would like to find me, this is my business card, my name, my phone number, my email. If you go to my link tree, that is the best way to find me everywhere and anything that I have going on. And last but not least, we will be launching a Helping Hand Talk Therapy services. I know a lot of people that need guidance, just need to vent, somebody to talk to, and just need a presence in their life. So I want to provide that service for you. So this will be launching in April as well. So please look out for it. And yeah, guys, that's all we got. We love, love, love you and appreciate your time and your energy. And as always, be inspired, heal, you know what I'm saying, and be great. Peace
Yes,
out.
love, love, love. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, C33 Master Teacher. Hey.
Hey, girl.
Peace, sister.